Okay, in the words of Matthew McConaughey, all right, all right, all right. We are live for another episode of Fixing the Trading Thing with myself, Coach Shadwin, and your host, Coach Brian King. Coach, how are you doing today? How's the weather that side? What you up to? How's the nomad lifestyle been treating you?
Man, fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. Live, hot in Dallas. What's the temperature, man? I think we're in the 90s right now. It's 91, so it's a cool 91
Wow.
degrees. Or for you, let's just call it 30 degrees, and it's going to keep on getting hotter and hotter and hotter. We're going to have a hot 4th of July, which is going to be good, Independence Day. It's an excuse for Americans to barbecue, to dress up in the red, white, and blue, have a good time, catch up with friends, families, hang out the park, and do the stuff that we need to do. Other than that,
So
I'm blessed, brother.
remind me, Coach, Independence Day is where you guys fought of the aliens, correct? You guys fought
I
of the
think so.
aliens. They wanted to invade. They wanted to invade from outer space. You guys fought them off. Will Smith was
Yeah,
at the front of it, and so that's Independence
yes,
Day.
Independence Day. Man, and that movie came out like 1997. So, woo, you're aging yourself, coach.
Yeah,
You are
yeah,
aging
no,
yourself.
I
Well, brother,
am. But no,
we got to,
since we won't be on the stream tomorrow, pretty happy Independence Day to you guys over there as well.
absolutely. Great times. It's great times. So let's get to it, man. We've got a lot of information today. This is fixing the trading thing. I think our names are off because we did the broadcast yesterday. But I'm the founder of the organization, Coach Brian King. We have Coach Chadwin Solomon, our co host. We are business partners. And the purpose of this show is to give you some practical steps that you can take to fix the trading thing so that you can fix your money thing. What you think about that, Coach?
Oh, I love it. Absolutely love it. Ultimately, we are all on here because we want to learn this trading thing or get this trading thing fixed, as they say. So that's what we're here to do. We're here to help others take the journey that we have taken. And I think that's an important crossroads when you meet someone who needs with someone who has. So we're blessed to be here. This is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it.
Rejoice. I love it. I love it. So quickly, I want to do this right quick as well, man. I'm looking at the NQ NASDAQ, and this bad boy is going up and to the moon. So let me see if
Mm,
I can add it here. We'll talk about that briefly. And then as we're going through it, we'll talk about other topics as well. But I know a lot of people come here because they want to see the markets. And let's just show them how we do things, right? We get into it, we don't play. Coach, give me thumbs up if you can see my screen. I remember one time
I
I
can
was
see
teaching
those.
for like a
We've
whole
all been
class, and everybody was just listening. I'm talking about how great the movement was. So let's just take this from scratch. Wow, man, this thing is huge, man. We're breaking highs, man, that we've never seen. Let me just kind of point an arrow right quick as well. Can you guys see that? Also, Coach, I love the gaps. Gaps are beautiful. We know that's going to be money day, right? And so I'll just type in gap right here as well, GAP, boom. And then we'll put the money sign, right? Because we know gaps have money that the institutions will go back and fill those gaps, right? And I'm looking at
Yes,
the
sir.
daytime frame. Now, I kind of did like you a little bit, man, and I went 4 out to the monthly, man. And let's just see this candle looks like Independence Day because it is doggone huge, man. It looks like this was an alien takeover. And so look at the month of June, man. The month of June was nothing but up movement. We hit a high of 20,380.50. And now we got July tracking right next to it, which I'm going to change these arrows out because we'll start getting arrows that look exactly the same, right? So let me go ahead and just put a black one on that one. And what's
So I have to say,
significant
while
about this,
while you're doing this, coach, while you're marking it up there, on
yeah,
a Sunday evening, I posted this particular chart for the students. Right, we got something called the weekly outlook, and so I
right.
posted it out for the students, sent it out, and we just hit the target that I posted out on Sunday, and that was
Come on now.
all the way from, get this, the actual projection was from 19659 to where we are right now.
Wow.
19659 to where we are right now. So on the actual like daily 4 hours and stuff, massive move. But keep going, coach. Just thought it'd be interesting if anybody got to see that in the weekly outlook.
It's huge. And you know what's crazy about that is just having the foresight to see the
Mm,
possibilities of where it could go. I'm highlighting this other area too. So this was a controlling swing high, and we see that it's marked up by 16,756, which that was back in the 1st of November 2021. How crazy is this, man? So
Wow.
not only did we come
Really?
back and take care of that swing high, we dominated it right here. And listen to this, man. It took years for it to break this spot. So the break
Mm.
happened December 1st of 2023. So yeah, 2 years till it came right back to this area, full U-turn at this candle, and then now it's just been kind of up into the sky. And so if you're day trading, again, we want to talk about fixing the trading thing is one thing that I would say is, and let me just kind of write some of this stuff down is it's all about the perspective. Yeah, perspective, right? And your perspective, the
Yes.
markets are going to shape your point of view because we're looking at the monthly right now. So clearly we're in an uptrend. Clearly, like it's right in front of our face. We don't have to pray about it. It's right here. The challenge is as a trader, a lot of us are trying to find out what is going to be that reversal, right? And so we're kind of in no man's land now because it's never been this high before. And so some of us are like, okay, let me catch this bottom. Let me catch it. Let me catch it. Let me catch it. And so I'm going to go to number two, and I'm going to say use wisdom. Yeah, use wisdom, right? And so, what do they say? The beginning of, well, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of understanding, right? So, when I talk about wisdom and understanding in this standpoint, I don't want to play the guessing game because I can mess around and guess and just be totally wrong. Does that make sense? I'm talking about a type of wrong where you're losing sleep at night, that type of wrong. So here's what I'm going to do, right? As a perspective, I'm zooming to see what's happening with the market. We have a candle that literally wants to break this wick, and I want to go down to lower time frames just to see what's changed. And so I'm going to do something almost called a base isolation technique, right? Coach, I was training this weekend, man, so I had to go back to the foundations and just
Hey,
talk
it
about the
sounds like a
yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, I had to go back. I had to be like Mr. Miyagi, to be the Sadoshi, right?
yes.
And so I'm looking at
Wax
this,
on,
and so
wax
what?
off.
Yes. And he's like, "Why do you have me cleaning cars?" This man, son, I'm teaching you something right now. I'm teaching you something. So if we look right here, and I'm going to draw the zone because it still comes down to supply and demand. Does everybody understand? It still comes down to supply and
Absolutely.
demand, where institutions are buying and selling, and us just being aware of what's going down. Now, one of my thoughts is that when everybody can see the move, beware, beware. When everybody can see the move. And so, coach, I'm going to actually kind of stretch this zone a little bit and look at that. That goes right into where the gap was. And we see that we had a bona fide continuation pattern as we speak, right? Continuation pattern. Again, if you're just now tuning in, this is Fixing the Trading thing. We're actually looking at the NASDAQ 100. We're checking out futures, which there's a bunch of money to be made and a bunch of money to lose if you don't know what you're doing. And we're talking about how do we use perspective and wisdom in our trading. And so I wanted to start the show off with this because a lot of people say, hey, coach, show us, give us your perspective, right? Now, as I'm checking this out, I'm going to keep on going lower and lower and lower. And now, folks, we are looking at the 1 hour time zone. Look at that, the 1 hour time zone. Now, coach, one thing that I always like to instruct with our students and people that want to learn how to trade is I always say get conditioned to start looking to the left. The left shows you historical
Yes.
patterns, the left shows you where the market has been before. And so if we kind of zoom in, we can say that the last time we were at this price point was right around, what is that? June 20th of 2024. So that's fairly recent. Watch this, everybody. Normally, this would be a sell zone, and I'm going to code that in red. And again, you can use whatever colors you want to, but let's just do that for the sake of people that are falling so they won't get lost. And coach, I think we found a zone. Now, here's the challenge, right? On this particular zone, we have three different types of entries. And coach, man, I'm fresh off the bus right now, man. Fresh off the bus from going over with our new students, right? And so this first line right quick as well is called a proximal entry.
Yes.
Yes, proximal. You guys see that. And then we're going to say the second one, which we'll just kind of point this in the middle. All right. Zone entry. Man, I'm trying to type,
Yes,
coach, and
sir.
listen, I'm having, it's crazy. I'm trying to use the mouse and then I'm right back with my hand. How is it? I'm more efficient with my hand on this one. Go figure. Go figure. Zone entry. What does that mean? You want it to get in the zone, but you do want it to
In the
do a
zone.
U-turn. Yes, sir. And then the last one is distal, right? Distance, right? So we got 1, 2, 3,
Yes.
and we'll type this in here. And so people always ask, what type of trader are you? I am the number one. I can't help it. I'm the number one type trader.
Proximal.
There you go, man. It touches the zone, and then I'm in there. Now look at this challenge, right? And again, this is always about perspective. Perspective is from the bottom of this to here. Wow, was just a whopping $63.75. Now, Coach, you know in futures that is a lot of money. Could be made, could be lost. Now, here's one of the challenges. One of the challenges is that it went through point 1, point 2, and point 3, and it's looking to establish a new zone. However, I do want to kind of put this yellow circle right quick as well. And this is just kind of serving a point. It held this down for quite a while. And this is going from June 20th all the way over here to July. I believe that we'll get some type of return in here. So if I'm looking at this trade, Coach, and you let me know if you got a cosign on this one.
Yep.
I'm not chasing this candle. I might be tempted. I might feel like I've missed the bus and FOMO and everybody skipped past me. But just from experience, what we don't know, what we could be running into, and I'm just going to draw this on hypothetically, right? Let me just put this in red. And this will help somebody. What if this is a wall, right? Take out one of those L's, right? But today my hand got heavy. What if this is a wall that we're running to, and you run into that wall, and as soon as you run into that wall completely shifts everything. And so a lot of people don't know what's going on. Because here's the crazy thing. I'm going to zoom in, and I just want to get a point, and we can't see it, but you zoom in, right? Let's just zoom in a little bit. You guys see what I'm doing? I'm zooming in, right? I want us to get close. Zooming in. Yeah, I'm violating all the personal space in this. And look at this, folks. We can't see what's inside of that candle. We don't know, watch this, how many buy orders or sell orders are in the candle. Try it with me, Coach. We don't. Because when we look at this, we have a limited scope of what's going on, right? We're only going off what we see. Now, if you've been tracking with us for a while, what I'm also seeing is something called an FVG, and we've talked about this. And again, if you guys want to get some extensive training, just hit us up. We've got all kind of curriculum, man. We've literally serviced hundreds of students, man. I mean, Coach Chadwin is a master trader. Yes, master trader. So, Coach, look at this, man. We have a big fair value gap that's being showcased on the 1 hour. And typically, not all the time, we find that the market likes to retrace about 50%. So let's just kind of highlight that. Yeah, that's about fair, right? 50%.
You should see my chart from Sunday. We literally have the same drawings on.
Look at that, man. We've been practicing over here, man. We're not winging this. We're not some kids over here, man. We put in the time. So let me help somebody out over here if you're taking some notes, right? That would be at the 50% retracement. Okay. So, folks, what does this mean? Instead of me chasing the candles, it's almost like there's some type of magnet where the institutions want to get back into that spot. Now, they don't just come right away on it. It's multiple different ones. And so if I keep drawing this out, and Coach, I'll pass in a few minutes, brother. We have another one right here. Yep. So let me just clone that out right quick. That's when the mouse works, whenever I want to clone it. Other than that, it don't work right. So look at that, Coach. We got one. We got another one. And hopefully by the next candle, we can find it. Now, let's go into the secrets of this, because the secrets of this are very, very important. Very important. And so one of the secrets that we're looking into is we see the fair value gaps, we see the 50% retracement. Let's go down to a lower time frame, and I'm talking about 15 minutes, really to find out are there gaps within gaps so that I can perhaps find entry. So I'm going to change the color of the box on this one. And the reason being is I want everybody to start getting your eyes ready for some of the stuff that you can see, because this is where we find opportunities. So check this one out. I'm going to change the color. What could we do? Let's do orange. You guys see that one? So that's another area, FVG. And again, I have lower time zones.
Stacking
what I'm doing-
confidence zone.
Absolutely. If I'm not stacking them, what am I doing? Now, Coach, look at this one per se. We had a fair value gap. And then if we look at this particular candle right here, notice this wick went into the gap and then it just shot up. I mean, that bad boy exploded.
Reactive.
Which goes to show that might be a gap that we need to say could be over and done with. It could be revisited.
Been used.
But I do want to see, I do want to see, is there another gap? Because watch this, as I zoom in, I am seeing another one. Watch this one, Coach. And they're all in our face. And so one of the questions that often happens with which one do you take? I think a better one would be is that you're aware that they're around and you just kind of put your eyes to say that if one gets violated, another one can happen. And look at this, Coach. We've got another overlap on top of an overlap right here. I'm getting excited on this one. I really like this gap.
Yes, sir. And shout out to everybody who's joined us as Coach is teaching you as well. Shout out to Jason, Charger, Michelle, Ninja Nate, and Kaylin. Thanks for joining us.
Ninja Nate. I like that. Ninja Nate, man. Got a samurai in the building, right? So check it out, Coach. We got fair value, fair value, fair value. Let's go back to see, is there any fair values that stack up on one time frame?
Overlap.
So we have a little bit of overlap. That overlap. So this area, we need to pay attention to this area because this area is saying a lot. Now, I want to get crazy and go to the 5 minute. And again, everybody look at what's going on. Now, let me zoom out a little bit. And, Coach, just let me know how our time is because, I want to pass it to you as well.
Oh, we're good. We're good.
Notice as I zoom out, we're looking at the distribution. And so what I mean by distribution, you want to look at price and time, volume. So write this down, please. I gotta pay attention to volume on the chart. Volume on the chart. Yep. The volume on the chart is going to be these histograms. So if you guys can see them, we have these yellow and blue and all of these different ones, right? And so the big ones are called HVNs, which stand for high value nodes. High value nodes. So that's the line sticking out. So for instance, here, the buyers loved it. This was explosive. Well, Coach, how do you know this? I'm just going to draw out this zone and you'll be able to see with your own eyes. And it's amazing that it laps with exactly what we were talking about. So again, this is a demand zone, right? And so when you're thinking of demand zone, you need to be thinking I'm buying right now as well. So look at what happened. We have a drop base rally. And Coach, I'm teaching right quick. As you can tell, man, I've been doing that digital nomad stuff so much, man, that I'm just excited because again, this is just one more stream that you can have to make money online, to really protect yourself. So we have a drop base rally reversal pattern, okay? Followed by a rally base rally continuation. You guys see that? Rally base rally.
Yes, sir.
Boom. Followed by another rally base rally, and it's going. So would it be fair to say, let me just ask everybody if you're tracking with me, let me go back to the studio. Are we in a uptrend? Just type a yes in the chat if you're here with me. Are we in an uptrend? Yes or yes? Are we in an uptrend? Yeah. If we're in an uptrend, would it be fair to say that we need to be looking for buys versus sells? Does that make sense? We're not trying to go against the grain. It makes sense. We're seeing the continuation. Shout out to my man Patrick, Jason, Charger. I'm seeing the whole crew, right? It just makes some sense, right? We're in an uptrend. Let me get into an uptrend. I don't need to keep on fighting against it. Shout out to my man Cutler right over there from the same city. Yeah. So we're in this uptrend right quick as well. And so since we're in an uptrend, where we have to go level two is we need to then find out where can we enter. Now, folks, we need to pay attention to this one, right? We need to pay attention to this red candle. And the reason that we need to pay attention to this red candle is going to let us know when we get in. Now, I want to draw this out as well, because as I'm doing this, do you guys see this right here as well? There's a gap. You guys see it? Normally, when you see a gap in the value, it is telling you that it's going to go to the next place. So we ought to see it hit the FVG because of that gap. So if it decides to go down, it'll really go down. Yeah. And that's just another reason I like to do this, right? I like to see, is there something that gives me confluence so that I can pay attention to what's going on? So look at this, folks. We have this candle kind of hovering a little bit, and I'm going to zoom out. And do we see why we don't chase candles? Now, Coach, help me out with this one, right? And I'll pass it to you. Did we rush to jump into it, or were we like professionals and we waited for this to come to us? Yeah. So, Coach, I'll pass it to you. I
Yeah.
know you can flow on this one, and we'll just take it from there,
No,
brother.
absolutely. Now, I'm actually going to continue on this chart because I think you gave a great teaching on here, and I can rather add some value to this particular principle as well. But to answer your question, no, we always trade the retest. We always trade, we wait, right? The way we do things is to figure out where the institutions are moving first and then follow that stream. One of the things I always find out with traders as a whole and all the trainings that we've done, coach, is that everybody wants to be a reversal trader. In other words, everyone wants to catch the top or everyone wants to catch the bottom. So I'm going to give you a little gem that shows you how I've been able to look at the actual tops and bottoms and then not try and actually catch it, but more so just be patient towards it. So, coach, I told you my chart looks nearly the same as yours. This is what I put out on Sunday to the students. And I just made a note over here because I want to talk everyone through this and add on to what you've just added there as well. This was the main requested chart on Sunday. And this is where we were on Sunday, right? So on Sunday, when we posted our weekly outlook, which we give to all our traders, our nomad trading students, right? We were over here and I projected that we'll come below this low, which we did. And then from that point onwards, we should see us break TP1. And now I've added this. This I haven't added on Sunday. And I'm going to show you how I got to that as well. I've added this as TP2. Isn't that interesting? So from Sunday till today, which is Wednesday, I basically gave you 4 days worth of price action one-sided. Is that amazing? Give me a 7 in the chat if that's amazing. And I'm going to tell you how I got to that. Right? Now, if you are a student of ours, you can go in the back end, look at the weekly outlook, and you will see that I have predicted this with that level of precision on Sunday already. One of the ones that did turn slightly against me was Euro. Not turn against me, but more so didn't set up like we expected, was the Euro, but gave us some good trades yesterday. We looked at the Dixie as well. I also looked at Bitcoin and suggested that Bitcoin would fall, and we saw Bitcoin fall as well to that level as well. But let's keep looking at this, right? Something interesting that Coach just said is that when we get above this level, students, you know this. If you are a student of ours, you know this as an SBR. This is one of my most favorite setups over here. Now, it's not just any high that gets tapped that makes it an SBR. It's a specific high, right? So Coach said what we're going to likely do is we're going to come down from there, come back into there. And I support that message wholeheartedly. We'll come back down into here or just below this low. And my anticipation is that we're going to project right up till here. Now, let me talk to you about how we get there. When you're in blue sky territory, right, you need to employ some mathematical equations. Why? Because nobody knows where price is going to go. Now, you might be saying, Coach, that sounds like magic and things. Well, let me take you back to a few weeks before that when I projected that this would be a TP, right? Over here. How did we get over there? Let me show you something. You use a mathematical formula, but you need to understand exactly where to anchor it. It's not just anywhere. It's called standard deviation principles. And I told you, watch this, that on that particular day when we were here, here's the same line I drew on. Go back 2 or 3 weeks, that we will reach and we will pause at this level, which we did, right? Thereafter, I looked for a little bit of higher price action and a pullback. Now, in the week on Sunday, we spoke about how do we actually get here. And the reason I'm sharing this with you is there is some hidden knowledge that we need to get. You need to get this hidden knowledge that institutions are using, that people are using, especially when there's no zones to the left. Everyone says, look to the left, look to the left, look to the left. Now, of course, you have to do that. But when you're in blue sky territory, as some of the indices have been like this, nothing on the left, you need to employ some mathematical consistencies that happen over the market. Now, I'm going to show you how this TP2 is very high likely to hit. That number is 20,500 to round it off, right? Why? Because we have a standard deviation from here. Some of you are saying, Coach, what are you talking about standard deviations? Well, this is why you have to get the knowledge, right? And if you want to learn, you want to be part of understanding this, seeing how I predicted this beforehand, that suggests that right smack dab in the middle of this area, 2 to 2.5, there is going to be a significant area over there. I'm going to highlight that area. I'm going to show you how interesting this gets. Right? That's going to be a significant magnet on price. Now, you see, I got another line on here. How did I get to that one? Well, watch this. The gap that Coach drew on early on was a gap. Let me show you. On a weekly. We understand that there are specific corresponding times to a weekly. Jill, you know what I'm talking about. Right? Patrick, you know what I'm talking about. Let me know. There's a specific time that corresponds to that. Now, if I use that same time that corresponds to it, and I anchor my standard deviation on there, it gives me, watch this, 2 to 2.5 with a middle number inside of that same area. That is very, very high grade confluence for a specific point in the market to be reached. Now, you don't have to look further than a couple of weeks of analysis that I've done using that exactly to get all these points. This target was done with that. In fact, this high was done with that as well. As you can see how reactive it was. Then that target, and now I'm telling you 20,500 is the next one. But before we get there, just like Coach said, we trade the retest. We're not going to jump in over here. We are going to wait till price returns to the scene of the crime. And once it gets there, then we execute. Now, price will only do two things when it's on its way to a target. It will either trade to an FEG or it will grab a short-term low. Don't believe me? Look at this. When I gave you this price action on Sunday, since there were no FEGs, no gaps, no zones left, I said short-term low, grab, and then trade towards the target. Now we've had some expansion. We know that tomorrow is a bank holiday in the US. We know that there is some NFP coming out on Friday. So I believe that that in itself is going to be enough of a catalyst to push us all the way up till that point over there. So if you think that there is some value, right? If there's some value in what I've just been said, please put it in the chat, right? Please put it in the chat. Let me know. Let me know if you find some value in that. Okay, Coach, you back on? You back?
I'm here. Coach, we got something great coming up. I wanted to kind of shift a little bit, but before we do, are we getting some value on this training today? I know we got a couple of people watching. We're getting some good notes going over there. Every single time we talk, I like to give some value. So we got something coming from Jason saying great value, Coach. Absolutely appreciate that. Boom. Huge value coming from Jill. Charger gave us a 7. Awesome. Patrick and stuff as well. Coach, what I want to do now is do something a little bit different than we do. Let me see if I can get my tab ready. But you and I had a great talk yesterday And
Yes.
I think people underestimate uh, how we do this. You know, we're one of those people, we don't like putting numbers and stuff out there, but we are getting to a place right now. It's about testimonials.
Yeah.
And so let me see if I can actually just pull this up a little bit as well. I'm
Sure.
going to
Go for
share
it.
my screen. I'll play this just for a couple of minutes, but I wanted to tag this. So I'm going to actually have it. We just started a whole nother channel as well. So let me just go back. Definitely want to get some support from this. And we just got a great announcement, but I just want people just to hear just the beginning phase of this one, man, when we share this, because it's a game changer, man. It's a game changer. So give me thumbs up if you can hear it, coach. I'll play it for a couple of minutes and then we'll take it from there. We made 279,000 off of a $3,000 investment. What I want to speak about today with this gentleman, Coach Chapman, I'm Coach Brian, is how we looked at this investment and how this investment exploded.
You know what, Coach? If we when we started out, I thought to myself, if you told me that there was a way you can make a 9,000 a return on something, I'd say you're absolutely crazy. But what we had to learn from the get go is that there are things in the market that the average layman just doesn't know. And when we were able to access those kind of things, we were able to see what was possible, of which this business was one of those things.
That's awesome. You know, one thing I want to talk about as well is when we made this investment, and again, I respect you so much. You're the director of education, another company that we have. But what I think really blew it up was is that we got to the place that we understood the power of systems. And I think even more so not having a system. One thing
Mm,
I've found out, and this is just being in sales a long time and doing high-end products and products that make an impact, is that if you don't have a system, you'll try to piece different things. You'll try to piece Kajabi, email programs, active campaign, click funnels, and all these different things just to make something work. And when you presented this idea to me, especially in the space that we're in with the influence that we have and the ability to white label it, I was like, wow, this is just awesome.
absolutely. And I think all the things you just mentioned now, if we really categorize that all together, it sounds like the Rihanna song, I think it is. It's called Work, 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 Work. Right. And I'm not knocking work because listen, hard work is what gets you somewhere. But I think a key factor for us in
Yes.
understanding this massive turnaround that we had is that we have to leverage time. A lot of us are used to exchanging time for money, right? It's you give 30 minutes, you give an hour, you give a day, you give a full day. Some of us work 16-hour days. You exchange
Mm.
time for money, but really the in-between factor that changes the game for us was strategic partnership, but also leverage. Leverage is the name of the game. We want to take a little time, mix it with a high value product, and then get a big result at the end of the day. And I think you would agree that's exactly what we did.
You know what's crazy to me is I love that, you know, and we're going to get paid this week as well, how we're
Mm,
not even marketing this. And it's
yeah.
one of those products that people are in demand for. It's like I don't have to tell anybody, are you going to order Amazon Prime today, right? Amazon is already
Mm,
big. You're a Prime member, you're going to order, and that's why they have the trucks. And so when it comes to being a digital nomad, a kingdom nomad, I think what has been a turning point for us, and especially as we've been in this space, is finding something that's in demand and being able to, in essence, jump on that bandwagon and then
mm.
put your spin on it, right? Just be authentic. Don't lie. Don't fake. Just say, hey, this is what I'm doing and this is how we're doing this. And, you know, when we ran the numbers this morning, I said, we got to do a video because this is real, man. To get a 9,200 something percent return off of something that we did last year and to see money that comes when we don't even have to go ahead and chase it. We don't have to market it. We don't have to say anything. But then one business perspective is like, well, hey, why don't we market it a little bit more? Because if it's doing this on autopilot, how about not taking autopilot to the next level?
Mm. And I think what was important for us through this whole process was making sure that we deliver something that is of high value to the person who's getting it, who's purchasing it, but also doesn't make us feel like, oh no, we're scamming people. It is a genuine product that actually gives genuine results. And so we found a bunch of people that was in need of something. We provided that need, and that was able to generate like all this amount of money that we're speaking about. And let's be honest, the proof of the pudding is in the tasting. And when we're talking about 9,000 return or 300, almost $300,000, that in itself proves the whole concept, right? we were able to find people who needed something, and we were able to get them to that point without it being a heavy lift. I think a key thing of what you're saying is that we are able to invest very little time for a very big result, and I think that's the main factor here.
Absolutely. I was listening to a training yesterday, and our mentor talked about, you got to really be jacked up if you can't make Starbucks work. And so Starbucks, if you're going to be able to market that brand, you're going to at least invest $200,000 to $300,000, right? But the system works. If a Starbucks, you put the sign out, people are buying it. So what I found for what we do, having a proven blueprint system works. Think about our strategic business. Yeah, folks, I just wanted to share that with you guys. Give me thumbs up if you just heard the power in that one. $3,000 investment netted 279,000 gross. And man, we just kind of peeled back the curtains a little bit because we've been in this space for a while. And here's how we got here. Because at the end of the day, in our mission, I just want to regurgitate it, and because we say it all the time, is we want to touch 100,000 lives, people and individuals, to learn the skills of day trading so they can live life on purpose and build God's kingdom. Now, one of the things that we did have to do is we had to have some real talks and really ask ourselves, are we positioning ourselves in a way to really cast the nets wide to help people? And so please hear my heart on this one. You're listening to somebody that is a trader, that is a founder of an organization, that has training programs, that speaks, that trains. So I have multiple streams of income based on the skill set that I've been able to attain. One thing that we've seen in the digital space is that if this stuff is done correctly, you can make an impact in ways that you can't even believe. And so as I was sitting down with Coach Chapman, we're talking back and forth. And the thing is a couple of weeks ago, I had a good friend of mine reach out, and I saw from behind scenes what she was able to do. And let's just say she made close to $50,000 in less than 6 to 7 weeks without having to pitch anybody. No network marketing, no monthly fees, following a proven system and doing exactly what I'm doing right now. Now, the blessed thing is we're in this space. We do these lives. I don't have a problem getting on camera. But how many times have we shared a video, shared a reel, said something, just pointed something to something that works? We do that all the time. And so here's what I want to say. I actually put a link in. The back part of it says Kingdom Profits. As soon as you go there and you enter your email, it's going to give you a blueprint strategy to you making $10,000 a month. And I'm talking about by using stuff online. Yeah. Now, here's another good thing as well. Because of the time, we actually have a webinar that's happening in the next 12 minutes. The mentor that we follow, who has a group of 26,500 people, and in the last 90 days has done 13 million, meaning that a collaborative amount of 13 million has been made with the promotion and following these 5 steps. And so all we want to do is to share that with people. So if you're interested in attending that webinar, just schedule about an hour and some change, watch it. But we just want to expose you to it. And we're unapologetic about this. We got a 90-day run. They're giving a lot of giveaways. What we want to do as an organization is hit 100,000 in 90 days. So we're unapologetic about that. Because here's what we're looking for. We want to get testimonials. We're looking for people that understand the times that we're in. And so it's one thing to make money with a trading income, which is fabulous. But how awesome would it be to make a passive income? You making money where you're not directly engaged with it. Because watch this, when I put a video out there, the video is done. I don't have to keep on making the same video. And it'll play. People will watch it, will get the information. And for the people that are looking for systems and they want to get their time back, that was me. Watch this. For what took us months to put together, and I'm talking about 18 to 19 months, when we followed our mentor system, we were able to do that in days. So when I talk about Kajabi, when I talk about these different email programs and CRMs, and Coach, help me out with this one, man, because we had a lot of different moving pieces. And now we're introducing people to automation, which is fantabulous. So, Coach, I'll pass it to you briefly, and then we'll go to membership.
No, absolutely. I'm a stickler for having a system, a proven system. And I think you raised the idea of Starbucks. We all know these national brands that has these proven systems. I was just telling my wife today, I was saying, do you know that McDonald's is so big that they are the only company in the world that got Coca-Cola to change their recipe for them? And I thought about this and I said, man, that is so massive. What does it look like when people of like-minded understanding, right, come together and we are able to control the market, we are able to control what's happening in our schools, in our communities, and that all starts off at ground level. We need to be able to put, as you've always said, our minds together in terms of group economics, like put things together, but that starts by a proven system. We need to tell ourselves, you know what, at the end of the day, I don't have something that's working, let me find someone who does have something that's working. And we are proud to say, coach, that even though we are coaches and even though we are mentors to other people in the trading space and in the mindset space, we too submit ourselves under coaches and mentors. And so that's important as well, to understand that as we're helping you grow, we're also growing in the process. And one of the things that we've said to ourselves, whenever we find something that is of value to people, whether it be new, whether it be something that's always been there, we are going to share it with our people. And that's what we are doing. We value your time and we know that you value our time. So since you're on the stream, we wanted to get you access to that webinar and those documentation as well. So please go ahead and click the link. If you have some time, join the actual webinar now. If not, go in, enter your email address as well inside of the link over there, and you can get perspective and see how it actually works. Go ahead, coach.
Thank you. I want to say this is first. So, hey, we shared this link, which is this one, Kingdom Profits. You guys make sure you do that. We'll get your email. We'll automatically go ahead and give you access to the 10K blueprint that you can do online. Once you do that, we're going to do a group email and we're going to send you the link to the webinar. Make sure, if you can, just sit there, ask questions. They're very an open book. The system speaks for itself. And at the end of that, for those that are interested in speaking, contact us and we'll just take it forward. Again, what we're looking to do is work with some like-minded people that want to make additional money on top of their trading. And so why did we end with this? Part of fixing the trading thing is being able to trade from surplus versus lack. We attract a lot of people that are lacking in some areas, so they need the money, they need this to happen. And what happens is the money runs from them because they need it. What we found out is that if you already have the money, if you've already made between 3 to 900 for the day, you can feel better about it and approach it from a level of surplus and abundance. So one of the key focuses in this with the M3 strategy of mindset multiplication and management is putting yourself in a position where you're able to multiply your profits. And that way you can start asking the question, should I leave my job? Should I be able to do other things? So, Coach, let's go ahead and get out of here. We got to get ready for this webinar in the next couple of minutes. But other than that, man, I had a great time. We'll let it run for a little bit. Make sure you guys get this link. So we'll keep it on, let it run for another 1 or 2 minutes. Or if you're not able to do that, just message us directly or Coach Tadwin and say, Coach, I'm interested. Again, if you're needing to make some money online, there's something called the speed of implementation. We're just starting our 90-day challenge, and we're willing to work with you. We're doing the exact same thing. So don't hesitate on this one. Does everybody make sense? Some of us, our problem is we don't know how to make decisions. So we wait and we lurk and we think, and opportunities have surpassed us. That's why we were able to put up 3,000 and that 279, because we saw the times that we were in and we jumped in. We didn't ask 10 to 15 people. We didn't go talk to friends and family. We talked amongst one another of people understanding where we at for that climate, and then we were able to make that decision. Okay? So you guys be blessed on purpose. Have an amazing day. Cheers now.
Awesome. See you guys.